Well, hello enemies and book lovers, my name is Ash and welcome back to my channel. As you can imagine, this is my December TBR. This is the final TBR of 2024. There might be a difference in quality, maybe even audio, because I got a new phone, so there might be difference. Hopefully it's not too clear because I don't want my pores to be on display too much. For this video, I'm going to be taking part in my own readathon, the Library of Dragon Readathon, which is a D&D dragon-inspired readathon. I have my rolls where I have to roll the dice, and that will determine what I'm going to be reading, what prompts I'm going to get, so hopefully that's kind to me today. Honestly, knowing my luck, no. Sometimes I have really good luck in D&D rolls. Sometimes I have the most atrocious luck in the world. So we'll see what I get today. One more thing before I start my TBR. In January, I'm going to be starting to do my TBR board game. So starting January onward, the only time I'm not going to be doing my own TBR game is for the Aurelian Readathon and then my own Readathon. So 8 months of the year, I will be doing my own TBR game. I am so excited to be doing this. I want to do my rolls right now. Obviously, I'm not going to, but like I really want to do them because it's such a fun time. So I'm going to be doing my TBR board game for January. So look forward to that if you're interested. So with that, let's get into my TBR. So there's 2 books to talk about that are not part of my readathon. I'm going to talk about those really quickly. So the first thing I'm going to continue, of course, is going to be the Black Butler series. I'm currently on volume 16. This is the 17th volume, but the 16th volume is currently next to my spot in the living room. I am reading Berserk and Attack on Titan, but for some reason I'm just prioritizing Black Butler. So for the time being, I'm just going to say that I'm going to be continuing this series because my library has almost all volumes of it. So I'm just like prioritizing the physical volumes over the digital volumes right now. So I'm having a good time. Look at CL. Look how cute he is. Oh. Another book I really want to get to in December, I don't know if I'm going to get to it. I have a few books on this list that are on hold at my library, but there's other people that have holds on it, so I'm a little bit nervous because I don't know if I'm going to even get them in time. One of those books being the next book that I plan on getting to for the Cosmere, and that is Tress of the Emerald Sea by Brandon Sanderson. I'm reading it in his order, so the order that he has on his YouTube channel. So I am reading Tress, and then I'm going to start the Stormlight Archive. So I'm a little bit nervous, but I'm going to be reading Tress. Hopefully in December I'll be reading this book because I would like to get to it and continue the Cosmere, but because someone already has a hold on it, I don't know if I'll get it in time. So that's my hope to get this done in December. I have no idea what this book is about because I just don't really go into Brandon Sanderson's books knowing what they're about really. Especially the books he wrote in 2020. I just don't really know much about them. That's how I prefer my books, to go into them blind, so that's what I'm going to be doing for Tress of the Emerald Sea. So other than those 2, I'm going to be going now to my rolls for my Library Dragon Readathon. So I'm going to make the rolls and then I'm going to dictate what my prompts are and then I'm going to go off of that. So let's go with my first roll. Corvus, the character from my readathon, is going to go down the left path. He's not really someone that likes talking to people. He's more of like a intelligence, like he likes to read books and study. He is like a dragon. He studies dragons in his pastime in the Aurelian Readathon, so I made him in this readathon. And so he's more of definitely someone that would do a textbook kind of thing rather than talking to someone. So he's going to go down the left path. So with that in mind, let's go and roll for the first roll. Okay, so since I'm using my own dice this time, hopefully I'll have good luck. So I need to do a DC 11 intelligence check. I have a +1 modifier, which means all I need is a 10. 50-50 chance I'll succeed in this. So let's see what I get. Oh my god, are you freaking kidding me? Knowing my luck, I'm not surprised. I am so upset. This means I must do the success and failure prompt. I am so excited about this. Fabulous. We're starting off very strong in this readathon. I was so excited to make my first roll. And I got a nat 1, which is a critical failure, which means I have to do 2 prompts instead of 1. So I have to do the success and the failure prompt, which is fabulous, and then I have to go down the failure path. That's rude. So my first prompt for this is going to be the success prompt, which I didn't succeed, but I have to do both anyway. So the success prompt is to read from a favorite genre. Fantasy romance, that kind of area is my favorite probably. I love a lot of genres. You'll see in this video I have a weirdly eclectic taste in books. So if you're here for the first time and you're wondering what kind of books I read, you'll find out in a second because it's everything, almost everything. For this one, I'm actually going to go with a book that you will not be seeing in this video. It's going to be an unwrapped book. So I decided to unwrap one of my books behind me and it will count for favorite genre. So that is kind of like a hint as to what I might be reading. But yeah, I already kind of started it. So I am looking forward to trying it out and continuing it. It's a kind of popular series. So yeah, I will do a reading vlog for that. So that's for my favorite genre. The failure prompt is to read a book outside your comfort zone. So for that one, I actually decided to do something a bit different. I usually would have went somewhere like sci-fi, maybe thriller, mystery, crime, like horror. I'm not really into any of those genres very often. I do read them, but not very often. I actually ended up picking up a memoir, autobiography, which is something that is definitely not my comfort zone. This is a nonfiction as well, so a lot of things I'm not really that usually interested in picking up. I'm very intrigued based off of what this is about, and I'm a little bit nervous because it seems like heavy topics, but I think this is gonna be really informative and important to read. So this is Mama Scotch. might be pronouncing it wrong. I apologize. This is a Cree word, so I apologize if I'm not really saying it properly. Hey, Daryl J. McLeod. Mamscotch is actually the Cree word meaning response to dreams shared, which I found really beautiful. So I'm going to hopefully read this in December. I'm definitely going to prioritize it. It's very short. There is pictures in this about, I think, his family. This is a Canadian book set in Alberta. This is about Daryl and his experience growing up with family members who were in residential schools, and it has, of course, heavy topics in regards to sexuality, history of what people have experienced. So I think it's gonna be heavy, but it's gonna be really interesting and informative, which I like to read more books about things that are teaching me things. I like to learn. I love to learn, but of course, it might be heavy topics. So I'm a little bit obviously trepidatious, but I'm still curious enough to try it. But yeah, it has pictures of his family and talks about them, and so I'm really excited to try something like this because I usually don't really gravitate toward these kind of things, and I'm excited to try it. Okay, so for the next roll, I have to roll out of the way and dodge, so I need to get a DC 10 dexterity throw. So let's see what I get for my second roll. So I have a +2 in dexterity, so there's a decent chance I can succeed. I need an 8 to succeed. So let's see if I swear, get a better dice. If I don't like this dice, I'm picking a different one. So let's see what my second roll is going to be. I needed an 8. Okay, I got a 9. That means I have an 11 altogether, and I needed a 10. So I did succeed in this one. So it seems my D20 has been a bit kinder to me on my second roll. I got a 9, although with my modifiers, I got a 12. No, that's not math. So I just passed. Like, if I didn't have a modifier at all, this would have been a fail. But I did succeed. I will count that as a win. For this one, I have to read a book based off of my dragon's element. Funnily enough, this actually would have been maybe easier if I had gotten my enemy dragon, because they have sci-fi, and blood dragons, which is the one I have, is like vampires, blood on the cover, horror, crime, anything in that realm. And unfortunately, I don't really read that much horror. I know I chose a blood dragon, and I don't really read a lot of horror, which is abysmal, I know, but I really wanted to get a blood dragon, so I'll be fine with it, okay? I'll be fine. I actually have another video where I do roll and review, where I roll die, I get a random book to read, and then I review it. I haven't really posted it because I've been slacking on making that video, but the roll for that one I actually got was one that was perfect for this prompt. The cover does not leave much to imagination, so you'll see in a second. This is Queen Takes Night. This is by Julie Sue Burkhart, and there's blood on the cover, and there's vampires in it. That's all I really need to know. I'm pretty sure this is like poly at least, if not, why choose? But yeah, you could probably see that this is definitely vampires and blood on the cover, and a lot of things happening in this picture. I don't know what this is about either. Like I said, apologies. I don't really go into my books usually knowing what they're about, but obviously there's vampires in this, and there's obviously going to be smut and romance. So I only saw my Kindle, it was free, so I'm gonna get to it. But yeah, this definitely qualifies for my blood dragon. So the next prompt for my readathon is to read a book that is based off of your clothing. So anything that you're wearing. I think I said this in my last video, or I said this in a prior video, but I always wear plaid. So I am currently wearing plaid again on my pants. I wear pajama pants when I film videos because they're more comfortable. This is not the same one, but it's a similar color scheme. The other one has more black in it. This one is not really has much black in it. Yeah, see? Plaid. It's red, black, and white. So knowing that, I decided to pick up the book that I'm supposed to read for December that I might not even get to because there's a hold on it at my library and I don't know if I'll get it in time, which is so upsetting because I really wanted to get to the live show in January and I might not be able to do it. And I'm really upset about it because I really wanted to take part in the live show, but it's fine. I won't talk about it. And that is Malice by John Gwynne. I did mention this in my last TBR, but I'm not going to get to it because, like I said, I have to wait for the hold to come in. So I might actually have to read this in January, which is really unfortunate, but I'll see what I can do. If it comes in earlier, that'd be nice. If people are actually reading it faster, that'd be nice. But I can't really fault them if they don't because I don't really read them fast either. Like, it takes me the full 20 days to get to the book. I don't know what this is about other than it's a epic high fantasy series written by John Gwynne, which is a really popular fantasy author. We're reading this for Becca's channel. So if you want to do the Catch Up Book Club, you can read the John Gwynne series. And so we're going to be doing this every 2 months. And I'm excited about it, but like I said, I might miss the first live show, which is really sad because I really want to get to it, but it's okay. I'll try to get to it when I can. So that's for my outfit kind of thing prompt, and I think this is good enough because there is red, black, and white on the cover, and I think this works out, I think. I would say it works out. It's my own readathon. I count it. So for the next path in my readathon, I have to buy an item. So either I either buy it, I haggle it, or I steal it. So buying it means I instantly succeed, but I lose 8 silver. I can haggle, I could pay less, but I have to pay more if I fail. If I succeed, I pay less, and then I steal, which could make me go to jail. So knowing Corvus as a person, he would just outright buy it. He wouldn't try haggling. He's not a charismatic person. So Corvus would instantly just buy it. So that's what I decided to do for him. So for this, without rolling, I just instantly succeed. This prompt worked oddly really well for me because this is to read a book with either R, P, or G in the title or author's name. And I actually managed to get every single letter in the main title of this book, which is really cool. I didn't do this on purpose. I was just really excited when I actually noticed this worked because that's kind of cool, okay? Having all 3 letters in the title is pretty hard, I feel like it might be. And that's Pucking Ever After, Volume 1 by Emily Rath. This is the first kind of side story novella to the Jacksonville Ray series. I hadn't read the side books yet, even though I have completed the main series, or caught up to it, I should say. There's still 2 more books coming out, but I caught up to the main series. Now I'm going to prioritize reading the novellas, or like the side books. I read the book that came before the first book, but I haven't read the standalones, kind of like the ones that are between the main series. Most of these have to do with like their kids and stuff, so it's not that important to read, but I want to read it. It seems cute, and I also love the characters from the first book so much. They have my whole heart. So of course I'm going to read it. This is a hockey romance series following either monogamous or polyamorous couples. The first book has a poly couple, the second has a monogamous, the third has a poly as well. So I am loving this series. I love this series so much. I used to not like contemporary romance, and now look, I've changed. I've changed a lot since then. So the last role is going to be bonding with my dragon, so I have to do different activities, either mental or physical. I did mental activities because, like I said, Corvus is more of a, you know, book smart mind person rather than strength. His strength is like -2, so I'm not gonna do strength at all. Let me roll the dice and see what I get. So for this check, I have to actually choose either strength, intelligence, or constitution. I'm not very good at strength or constitution, so I'm gonna go with intelligence for this one. So I'm going to go with an intelligence roll. I need a 10, so I need a 9 or above. Oh my god, okay. We got an 18 altogether. I am safe. All I needed was a 10, and I got a 17 on the die. So I did a really good job with that one. Thankfully, that's all I needed to do. I only had to roll 3 times, and I did pretty decent. I got a nat 1, but other than the nat 1, I actually seemed to do well. So I'm not going to complain. I know some people have failed like all their rolls, or really had a hard time with their dice. I'm not going to complain at all. For the success prompt, I have to do a prompt off of someone's TBR game or my own TBR game. Of course, I'm going to be doing my own TBR game for this one because why not? So I'm going to roll a die and see what I end up getting for my board. So let's go and do that and see what prompt I get. A 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Series, continuous series. I'm actually kind of happy with this. I got continuous series, which I need to do anyway, and I want to finish series this year before the 2025 comes in, so I'm happy to be reading and continuing and finishing series because I really need to get to that. So for continuing a series, I want to do something that I've been telling myself that I need to do because I have been reading this series, I think since 2018, and it's almost 2025, which means that's 7 years. I am flabbergasted by that. That's crazy. I started reading this series when I first got into reading in 2018, and now I'm slacking. That's all I have to say. But I have 1 book left in the series. I've been reading it for so long. I really need to finish it, and I think I might be able to do it this month, but this is like a 600+ page book, so that is City of Heavenly Fire by Cassandra Clare. This is the 6th and last book for the Immortal Instrument series, and I have been reading this, like I said, since the beginning of time. I have been reading this for so long now. I don't love it. I didn't like it as much as the Infernal Devices, and I don't like a lot of the characters, and I don't like what's happening in it, if you know what you know. So I'm not having the best time, but I'm enjoying it enough that I do want to finish it. So I'm finally going to be doing that, hopefully. But I think I could definitely get this done because this is like a YA urban fantasy, and so I feel like this could be easy to do. I don't even know if I could really tell you what this is about, because if you've been on this platform for long enough, you probably know what the Immortal Instruments is about. It feels very complex to some extent, not really, but there's just a lot happening in this world. There's like vampires, there's werewolves, there's the shadow hunters, there's humans, there's witches and warlocks, so there's a bunch of different things. Like I said, urban paranormal fantasy, and like I said, having fun, but I definitely need to finish it because it's a long time coming. So City of Heavenly Fire, let's see if I actually finish it. I will not hold my breath, but I definitely think I can do it. I can do it. And for the final prompt, I have to bond with my dragon, so I have to read a book with either an animal companion or an animal on the cover. This one I kind of am stretching, I know. Who am I? I'm stretching a prompt, but I think this one does technically count. This book came out 4 years ago, and I have been waiting ever since to read the next book, and I think the next book is coming out early of 2025, and so I'm so excited to finally be getting to this series again because I loved it when I first read it. And that is Iron Widow by Shiran J. Zhao. This is actually a book that I read as an ARC in 2021 or 2020, I'm not sure exactly, but I read this as an ARC and then it like blew up and I was like so excited to actually read a book that actually got really popular before I knew it was going to be popular. I always read books after they get hyped up. This one was not hyped up at all. So it was really nice to read a book not knowing anything or having no bias. When I first read this, I think I gave it 4 stars. I really enjoyed it. This was also the first book I ever read that had a polyamorous relationship in it. And like that was like eye-opening to me. I also appreciate the author so much. They advocate for Palestine all the time on their Instagram, talk about things that are happening in the world and say to stand up for it. They also had to deal with a bunch of bull that happened. I'm not sure when, it was like a year or 2 ago that happened, and they were not nominated because of their ethnicity. It was just a lot. It was a lot. I definitely want to support the author again and read this again because I think the second book, like I said, is coming out either January or February of next year. I'm really hoping. I am hoping. That book has been pushed back so many times and I just want the author, you know, to have the moment and actually have their book published because they deserve it. This is kind of reminds me of mechs or mechas, and I think in this book they're called chrysalises, which are giant transforming mechas. The pilot is always a male, so the male pilot is the one that kind of like takes control of the machine, and then there's a female pilot. The female pilot is always sacrificed in order to accomplish their goals, and so the main character is deciding that she doesn't want to deal with that because her sister actually passed away because of this exact thing, and so she wants to become a pilot so that she can kind of stop this from happening. And instead of her dying in the process, the male pilot dies. And so it's like this huge thing because she was responsible for the death of a male pilot, which is like unheard of because women are supposed to die, not the men, which is, yeah. So she gets the name Iron Widow for this thing that she's done, and she gets a new pilot, one that is more dangerous. I don't remember a whole lot. It's been 4 years, but I am looking forward to getting to this book. There is, like I said, a polyamorous relationship in this, 2 male characters and a female character. What I remember is that it was a little bit quick, the romance, but I still really enjoyed it. And like I said, it was the first time I ever read a book like that, and so it meant a lot to me at the time. So I'm excited to get to this again. This is a physical copy. I love that I can actually hold a physical copy of this book after reading the ARC, and I am just looking forward to giving it another shot. Because it's been so many years, I'm a little bit unsure if I'll like it as much as I did the first time because I used to love YA back then, and now I don't read it as often, so I'm a little bit worried that I won't like it as much when I first read it, but I'm going to try my best to get through it and prepare for the next book. So I'm excited to be getting to this again and reading the physical copy of it. The reason why this one counted for animal on the cover or animal companion on the cover is because there's like a phoenix mecha in it. You can see there's like a phoenix on the back. I counted that as an animal on the cover. And animal companion because the mecha suit is like sometimes animal inspired, so I'm counting that. Xian Zhao is also a Canadian author, which I have 2 Canadian authors on this list, which makes me really happy because I don't really see that many to begin with, let alone 2 on one list. So 2 Canadian BIPOC authors. I'm really excited to have those on my list and to read them for my readathon. Okay, so with that is the 8 books I want to get to in December. Like I said, I'm gonna see if I can actually get to them all. I definitely will be able to read over 100 books this year because manga has really been pushing me up a bit. So I am not worried about my Goodreads reading goal. I'm already way above it. I'm already at like 95, so I'm pretty sure I'll be able to surpass it. In regard to the next few months, like I said, I'm going to be doing my TBR board game. I'm going to be doing my rolls in January and seeing what books I get for my TBR board game, and I'm so excited about it and hoping for the best. So I'm going to end the video off here. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a great December, end of the year. Hopefully it goes okay for you, and let's hope somehow that 2025 will be a good year for us. I don't know how, but I'm hoping. 2020s have been abysmal so far, and we're halfway through the decade. And it's just like, we have to have a break. We need a break. But if you are from the US, I understand if you don't really think that's going to happen for the next few years. I understand. I want to hold an animal for Christmas. That's my goal. So with that, I'm going to end the video off here. Thank you so much for watching. Have a great day. Have a great reading month in December, and I hope to see you all soon. Goodbye, everyone.